Oh, it says it can't do Facebook. I think I'm going to have... Oh, I am. No, I can't do Facebook. Let me just have a little bash and see if I can get it to go. I just tried to make it work. So I can't seem to. All right, everybody. How are you? I'm Libby from Truly Myrtle. I am the designer at Truly Myrtle for knitting patterns, and I'm based down here in New Zealand. And I also am the founder of Wardrobe Toolbox, which is where you come to learn how to make your knits fit you. It is so lovely to have you with me today. This is my live podcast. Oh, I've got a ding from my emails. I'll turn that off. This is my live podcast. I go out on normally Facebook. Facebook is not playing ball again today. I really don't know why, but I had a bash at different things. But I am live on YouTube. So could those of you who are watching on YouTube please go to Facebook and tell them that I couldn't get on Facebook again today for some reason, and that they can come over to YouTube. But I will put a replay up later for them. Hi Claire, thank you. That would be really good. So, hi Sharon, nice to see you too. What a nuisance. I push all the buttons, I go back and I push different buttons, and oh gosh, I don't know what it wants from me, this Facebook. Hi Helen, nice to see you. Oh yes, I'm all cozy. I am cozy. I haven't worn this jersey. I'll put my drink down. I haven't worn this jersey yet this winter. And I put it on and I just was sitting there at my desk and I was a bit cold around my neck. So I put a shawl on as well. So now I'm really toasty. This is Phoenix. They're not really the same vibe, but I was just staying warm. This is Phoenix is the jumper, which I have on because I wanted to show you something. And the shawl is Antipodes, and it's such a good little light shawl just to keep your neck warm. Hi Robin, nice to see you. I am on Facebook. Well, it tells me I'm not, but if I am, that would be great. I can't see any comments coming from Facebook. Who knows? I'm normally good to be able to go to my page live. Hi Marina, how are you? And Robin from Adelaide, nice to see you. And hi Christine, nice to see you too. I was going to show you some of the things I've been making lately. New Orleans area is steamy hot, says Mary Ruth. Oh. Whereas Mary Ann says it's very cold morning in Victoria. Oh, hi Barbara, nice to see you. This rain is forecast. Yeah, it's a bit grey here today, although yesterday the fog was magnificent. It was absolutely magnificent. Yeah, it's cold, Lynn, isn't it, this morning? It was absolutely beautiful. So I didn't go for a walk yesterday. Went to do hot yoga again. I went to hot yoga last week, and yesterday I went to hot yoga again, and I thought actually it's quite good I'm doing that because A, it's hot. It was actually nice yesterday. It was a bit hot the first time, and also I couldn't have gone for a walk in the fog. It was so thick and just so low, and I drove my girls to school, and as we drove up the hills and sort of sat at the top, you could look down. It was just like looking at a magical land sitting up high, all this thick fog. It was absolutely beautiful, but horrendously dangerous to go walking on my road with the cars just burning down, and you just wouldn't be able to see anybody. Oh, you love my mug, Marina. You'll see me using these mugs. This is a mug from Tony Sly. He is a New Zealand potter. Now, Mr. Myrtle and I have been buying Tony Sly pottery since before we were married. And we have bought, over the years, we've got to know Tony a little bit. When we go down, he knows who we are. And because we've bought a lot of pottery from him, and we've got married and we've had children and all of these things. So it's really nice when we do get to see him. And so this is a Tony Sly mug. And I think I bought these for Mr. Myrtle's birthday a few years ago. Anyway, I don't have any dinner plates because that would be crazy in my house. But I have a lot of serving dishes. And we've had a lot of cups over the years. And years ago, I said to him, I think you need a salt pig. And then I came back from England one time when I was back on holiday. And then I came back the next time and he'd made a salt pig. And I was like, this is brilliant. So things like that I love. He's got the most beautiful pottery. Tony Sly. Go and check him out. Oh, you got confused, Andrea. Yeah, I'm only on YouTube today. Hi, it's rainy and snowy. Oh, in Omarama. I thought you were going to say you were Oklahoma. And I thought, that's a bit wild, isn't it? But you're not. You're Omarama. Hi, Tracy. You're running late. You just got home from work. It's very foggy in northern New South Wales. Yeah, it was just magical fog because when you got above it, the sky was just so blue. And it was like one of those, I don't know, it was just really picturesque and magical. Hi from Oregon. Hi, Sally. Nice to see you. So, I distracted myself. I was going to show you what I've been making lately because I've made a few things and it's always fun making things. And I have been doing some knitting, but I can't show you that at the moment. Well, I have got some knitting I could show you, but I'm not going to show you that today. I'm going to show you something else instead. I have been doing a little bit of sewing and a little bit of spinning. And so I thought I would show you those things because I love making all the things. I love knitting. I do a heck of a lot of knitting. I actually was a sewer before I was a knitter. As a teenager, I made a lot of my clothes. I had a little business at university. I'm sure I've told you this a million times, where I made boxer shorts and little camisoles and I sold them together as pajamas. You couldn't buy stuff like that in those days. And I made boxer shorts for the boys and scrunchies for people's hair. This is the early 90s, literally 1990 through to about 1994. So I was making all that stuff back then. So I've done a lot of sewing. I have done less sewing in the last few years, and I am now resolving to get back to doing more sewing and spinning. I've been doing some spinning. Now, I've been spinning for probably 10 years, on and very off. I had a very off long period where I didn't touch my spinning wheel for ages. And in the last year, I've joined some fiber clubs, and I've been buying some fiber, and I've reconditioned my wheel, and I've got a bigger fly for my wheel, and I've just been really enjoying doing a bit of spinning. I've done lots of spinning this month. Oh yes, because I was thinking this month was a good thing because it was the Tour de Fleece, wasn't it? Was it? I have never joined in the Tour de Fleece. It goes with the Tour de France, which I know is on because my son's girlfriend was obsessively watching the Tour de France. And so I was aware that was on because of that. And the Tour de Fleece, I understand, goes alongside it. So can someone remind me next year? Because I think I'd really like to do it. But I just totally missed the boat this year because I just spin in my own little bubble down here. Okay, so I thought I'd show you. Should I show you that first? I'll show you the spinning I've done. Some of it's a little bit old and some of it is more recent. And then I've got a few things to show you. So first of all, I finished up this. Now this was on my wheel. Bizarrely, I convinced myself that this was a Corriedale silk. And I don't know how that happened because when I look at the label, which is from Deline NZ, it is very clearly just a Corriedale. Oh, hang on, that's not it. Moody Blues. This is not Moody Blues. I've obviously got the wrong label. Okay, I'm thinking it is a Corriedale silk now. I was convinced it was, and I thought, oh, look at this, I'm managing it. And it has got a bit of sheen to it, so it surprised me when I got the wrong label. It's definitely Deline's. It's definitely from her. But it's not Moody Blues, so I have got a Moody Blues. I think that's another one, and I've just popped it in my spinning basket, and I've picked up the wrong label. Anyway, this is like a pumpkin latte, isn't it? This is pumpkin pie. It's absolutely beautiful, and I was spinning it, and I was thinking I'm doing not a bad job. Now, it's a bit over-twisted in places. It's a little bit thick and thin, but I remember feeling quite proud of myself that I was actually spinning it, and it wasn't too bad, and I've still got the cords on it for where I soaked it, and then I let it bloom and everything, gave it a good flick and everything. But I'm feeling quite pleased with that. It's quite a hefty braid, and so I've got a nice amount of yarn in there, and my guess, I'm going to say that's about a sport weight. I think it's definitely got finer, and I feel like I'm just getting a bit better again. I have done some really nice spinning in the past, but I've had a long break, and so just getting back into the rhythm of it has been somewhat challenging for me. So anyway, that one is really good. Sorry, I don't know what the colour is. I'll have to go and hunt out the right label because I need to put it on the skein in my stash. But I'm thinking I really need to start knitting up some of this stuff, and I want to do some designs with it because I think for those of you who spin, and I can see a few of you in the chat, here we are, I've done lots of spinning this month. Oh yes, share some pictures in the Hangout. That'll be great. Robin says, I've got a new to me spinning wheel and I'm terrified to have a go. Just start. That's my advice, is just start. When I first got my spinning wheel, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I think I watched some YouTube videos I'm sure I did. Actually, it was Craftsy. Do you know, remember Craftsy? Well, it's still going. It went away for a while and changed its name, but it's still going. And there are some fabulous videos on Craftsy. There's also things like Sweet Georgia, the School of Sweet Georgia. Now, that's a little bit more expensive, but Felicia, she's in Canada she's is a dyer, but she's an amazing spinner. And she has the School of Sweet Georgia Yarns, of course, is what it's called. That's a really good way. I have joined that for a while and watched a few videos. But YouTube, you'll learn so much. Just have a little look at YouTube, new spinning. There's lots and lots of advice, and just be kind to yourself and don't be prepared. Be prepared to absolutely be hopeless, but you will get it. It's just practice. Practice well, I'm not perfect, that's for sure, but practice is good. So anyway, I did that, and then I'm thinking it would be really nice to knit something like this up. And I thought, for those of you that do have skeins of yarn, especially first of all, if you're managing not to get thinner skeins yet, if you're starting off and you're just getting chunkier DK worsted weight yarns, then something like what I'm wearing would actually be a really good way to use some of that yarn in your garment. And so this color work that I've got, this is like an Aran weight jersey, this one Phoenix that I've got. A lot of people have knitted it in DK as well, and you can do it in a worsted, but basically it's a thicker yarn and you don't need a heck of a lot. But if you have a hand spun that went through this in here, it would look absolutely beautiful, because you could do something that was all sort of one color. Now this is too light, I'll show you this about something else, but you could do something that is quite light in all one color, and it would just all, light doesn't have to be light, but one color, so it would just look a little bit like what I've got on. Or you could do something, I'll take off my shawl so I show you, or you could do something that was colourful, because if you had a colour going through here, it would look just beautiful, that colour change. So it's essentially making your own spin cycle. You could do that with your spinning, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It could be a little bit thick or thin. If you mix it with the right sort of slightly rustic yarn to go with it, then altogether it would look lovely. Now, I can't remember what this yarn is. It might be a merino, it might be a crowdale. It was from Union Fibre many years ago, and I can't for the life of me remember what the fibre is in it. But it feels, it's wool. It's certainly a type of wool. I just can't remember what, but it's like an Aran, and so you can just use your thicker yarn in here. That would be a great way. There's lots of jumpers around and sweaters around where you can just throw them in a little bit at the collar, but this is quite a good one because A, the knitting is nice and simple, B, it's beautifully warm. I have to tell you, it's not often I get into these really thick jumpers, but last week I was wearing my henna with the polo neck. Oh, that was so cozy. And then I've just been reaching for a little bit of warmer jumpers. It's just got cold. Anyway, so that's this jumper is what I was thinking. The other thing you could do, the other two things you could do if your yarn is a bit thicker, is something like this. Now this is if you've got just a single color. You don't want too much variegation in this, but if you have a single color, then this little hat bobby, which I think this is a bulky, it's definitely an Aran or heavier, but it's quite a thick little knit, and it has the little bobbles all over it. It's called Bobby. This is a cute hat. I wore this recently. Where did I wear it? I think I took it with me to Dunedin, and I wore it down there, and it's such a cute little hat because it's just so toasty and warm. So Bobby's quite a nice one because she's got a nice bit of texture, but your homespun would be beautiful for that one. Absolutely beautiful. This is an alpaca mix. Oh, it's divine, absolutely divine. So there's Bobby, and the other one where you could mix your either two handspuns or one handspun with another worsted weight yarn, like quite a plump DK into a worsted, is thinking cap. Now there are two kinds of thinking caps. This is one of them. The other one reverses the way the colors work, so that the base color here comes from the brim rather than this standing proud of the background pattern. So they're both in the same pattern, but I love this hat. This is used as a Zalana, and I'm pretty sure it's a worsted. So you've got the opportunity to either have your background color being your hand spun, or you could have this color over the top being your hand spun, and it's just a little bit thicker, and so it works beautifully. Look at that. I love that hat. I love this hat. So those are my three options for you. If your hand spun hasn't really got very thin yet, or if you got thin and then you're able to make it thick again, because that's a bit of a challenge, isn't it? It can be really hard to make it thick again. Let's have a little look. What you're saying. I didn't do Tour de Fleece, but I started after it finished and never need an excuse to spin. I don't know whose name that is. Come to there's a lot of words all joined together. Come to Grabatalifi, I think, something like that. Anyway, yes, no, never need an excuse to spin. It's so zen spinning, isn't it? So totally zen. I just love it. Hi from Scotland, Katie. Nice to see you. Oh, Maureen, I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't on Facebook. It just failed me. Facebook did its thing again. It's such a pain. Sarah says, hello from Rainy Blenheim. I've got a quick question. Do you have a spinning seat or use a normal seat? I'm contemplating getting a different chair for my spinning, because at the moment I sit on the sofa, and if I sit back on the sofa, it hurts my back. I don't like it. Really gets into, I hurt my back last year in the middle of my upper back, and I found that spinning when I sit back aggravates it. Still, it's pretty much better, but I just find it aggravates my back a little bit. So what I do is I perch right on the edge of my sofa, like right on the edge, and I push my spinning wheel away and I spin sitting on the edge. And I just, every night when I do it, I think I really could think about a different chair. And I've said to Mr. Myrtle, I'm not sure what the deal is with these spinning chairs. Maybe someone could tell me, like a spinning stool. I think I can understand why you want a different chair, but I haven't got one. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm not much help, but at the moment I use a normal, just my sofa, and I sit on the, you know how it's generally got a bit of wood or something right at the front. I sort of sit on that bar, and it's fine. And I've got a single treadle, and I'd quite like a double treadle, because one day I'll get a new spinning wheel, and I can't justify it right now at all to myself, but one day I will. But I quite like to have a double treadle, because my left foot just doesn't really know where it wants to go when I'm sitting right up front and my spinning wheel's right in front of me. I could put them both on the same pedal, but that just feels weird. And so sometimes I sort of just tuck my knee down. I'm a little bit weird, I think, when I spin. It must look a bit weird, but it works, and I'm comfortable enough. I think I could be more comfortable, but I'm comfortable enough. But yeah, my back doesn't like it when I sit back. But you see, I visited when I was down in Christchurch. Wasn't actually in Christchurch really, though, was I? I was in Rangiora. But when I visited, now my Eleanor, but I can't remember what. Someone remind me. Anyway, I visited Eleanor and Jack, and at their house, and Eleanor let me sit on her seat and spin. And I'm pretty sure she was in some sort of chair. She had a chair, and she was spinning in the chair, but she had a double treadle, and that was quite comfortable. So I think it's just, you've got to get the right chair. Whether it's a spinning seat or not, I don't know, but you need the right chair. And so I'm going to research that. If anyone has any advice for me, I'd love to hear it. Fractal spinning would be amazing. Yeah, so look, there's so many different ways of spinning to get all the colors playing, and you just play. You can just play. You're totally the boss of it, and then you get to decide what you want to do. If you spin thin and want a DK weight, holding with complementary mohair may even out the thickness and get you a similar gauge, so long as it doesn't take away from the beauty of the spin colours. Oh, thank you, Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte. Yes, in fact, this month in Wardrobe Toolbox, we had a new pattern, and I'll wear it for you soon, because I have actually been wearing it a lot. It's just a little bit cold today. I needed something on my arms, but it's a little vest, and I made it with a 12 ply. A bulky, and I made two versions, and one version I made with a beautiful yarn from Manos, which is a round Corriedale yarn, and the other one I held 3 skeins of yarn together. So I held a DK and a merino and a fingering together. No, not a merino, a DK, a fingering, and a mohair together. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. It absolutely was beautiful. It's so cozy to wear. I just love it. So she's called Rita, the little vest. Anyway, my lesson for everybody, I try and just kind of tie things together. So my lesson is all about holding yarns together and knowing how much yarn, how much you've got and how much you need. So we do a little bit of maths, and we're just talking about holding different skeins together and working out roughly what weight am I getting with this, because you can be real rough and ready with it. But if you're using more than 2 skeins, or if you're making a bigger project, then it's really good to know just a little bit of how to work it out. So we did that this month actually, and yes, I agree, it would be beautiful as long as, I mean, you can do whatever you like. You can totally detract from your spinning if you want to, but you've spun the yarn and it is nice to show it off. You missed the beginning, Kim. Oh, well, I'm here. Starcrest Farms. Thank you very much, Charlotte. Yes, Starcrest Farms, Eleanor and Jack. They are just the nicest people. I have some Starcrest Farms yarn here, and I've got an idea in my head now of what I want to make with it, so I need to get on with that. Barbara says, I inherited my mum's spinning chair. It's wooden with a small seat and a very upright back. Yes, this is what I've seen, Barbara. I'm thinking about my sitting room, and I'm thinking where I would put a special spinning seat, but I might as well just take over the room. We need a new sofa anyway. Our sofa is just dead. We've got 2 sofas in there, and one has just, look, it just is. We've had it for 25 years, we've had it since before we were married. We've had it since before we were married. And so it's 25 years old. It's got to be more than that even. And when it came back from England on the boat, the container leaked. And so I lost the cushions, and someone replaced them, and they've done a terrible job. And anyway, I need a new sofa. So I'm thinking one day I will do that, and maybe I'll make myself a spinning corner in my sitting room just for me. Katie says, would you recommend a spinning wheel for a complete beginner, or should I start with a handheld spinner? I started with a spindle, and now I know a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't recommend that. I found it really, really useful to actually start with a spindle. I'll show you my spindles one day. I've got several. I ended up, because I was in the UK, I had the opportunity to go to some pretty big yarn festivals, and there were some amazing options for spindles. And so I've actually got quite a few spindles. I found the one I loved the best is a Turkish spindle. On my blog, somewhere way back, I've done blog posts about my Turkish spindle, but I learned how to draft on that thing, and I found it really handy to just draft. It's not as fast. It is a little frustrating because you can't do an awful lot, and I do prefer my spinning wheel, but it is pretty good, and it's a really cheap entry to getting into it. So I think it's a good idea to have a go on a spindle. But if you did want to start with a spinning wheel, I bought a second-hand Ashford traditional. And I bought it in England. I'd gone all the way around the world because they're made in New Zealand. And it was well loved, and someone had looked after it, and I got a kit, and I just replaced the drive band and the brakes and all of those things. It was quite a good way to get to know what I was doing, and I just started on that, and I've still got that wheel, and it's good. I've just bought myself actually I'll show you these things now. I didn't buy myself, Mr. Myrtle bought me for my birthday a bigger fly, because I was really fed up with the little tiny bobbins and trying to do a lot of yarn. I wanted a bigger bobbin. So this was my way of having more options on the wheel I had without spending a lot of money on a new wheel. So I've now got these bigger bobbins, and my fly on my wheel is bigger. They don't really work on this. This is a whatever they call it, a lazy Kate thing. Is that what they call it? Or a lazy Susan. One of them goes on a table. I can't remember. Anyway, you put your yarn on this, and then it's definitely easier when you're plying to ply from this. I was going to show you this in a second because I did something different with the next skein I'll show you. But anyway, that was a nice way to kind of bump me up in what I had without splashing out on a whole new wheel. But secondhand, you can pick up all sorts of things. And if you, honestly, YouTube, you can figure out how to recondition wheels on YouTube and find out what you need. But if you are in New Zealand, you're in Scotland, I'd have a look around. I mean, Ashford wheels are all over the world, and Ashford have an awful lot of supplies that go with their wheels. Amazing amount of supplies. In fact, all of these things I've got here, bobbins, this little machine here, I've got this thing to show you so you can actually work out what your spinning is. It's from Ashford. Here, wheels and looms. This is so you can wind, I've forgotten what it's called now, my brain's gone blank. You can wind around an inch and work out your wraps per inch. And I've also got these, these are all from Ashford. Ashford, see, up there I've got a big niddy noddy, and I've got a small niddy noddy, and this is the one I generally wind on for my skeins. But I like them. I know that my next wheel, I would quite like to get another New Zealand brand called Mayercraft. And I didn't know I wanted that till I tried it. And now I've tried one, and that's what I want. But Ashford do a range of beautiful wheels. There's so many beautiful wheels around. But I would recommend getting some secondhand. You'd be surprised what turns up in op shops or secondhand shops as well. But if you look on Etsy, or if you're in New Zealand Trade Me or something like that, you might find one and just see if you can't fix it up. And often when people know that you want a wheel, just put it out there. Just say, I just really love a wheel. You might be surprised. Someone might say, hey, my mother-in-law died and she's got a wheel. You wouldn't be interested in it. You seem to be interested in yarn. And you say, yes, I would actually. So that would be a good way to start. Because once you're on your wheel, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Now, Maureen says, I'm working on my second petite knit Stockholm vest, 2 strands hound double, 1 2-ply alpaca and 4-ply touch yarn possum silk blend. It's so soft. It would be so soft. It's just beautiful. I found that it was a lot springier. The fabric that it created with holding all of these different yarns together is very warm, light, and very springy. So it sort of fits you beautifully when you're wearing it. Marina says, I recommend starting with a spindle too. It's very affordable and portable. Yeah, I got some. You'll have a good options over there, Katie, for spindles. I do a search online for spindles because I got a bunch of spindles in the UK, and there are people that are making them. There's just beautiful options for you. Sally says, I think you should. I have my own yarn room with a cozy chair. Oh, yeah, yarn room. Yes, I think I will, Sally. I think I'll rearrange it and I'll make it just for me. Everyone else can perch on their various furniture. I started with an Ashford Learner spindle, says Marina. I think I have a couple of those for my kids, actually, and they just have a dial at the bottom and a post with a hook at the top. They all work. It's just a matter of getting a feel of it. Charlotte says, mine's a handmade one. I went to the Christchurch Spinners Group. Oh, Charlotte, to buy some fibre and snuck in the back. Yeah, I've been in there. The ladies found my wheels twin in a booklet of homemade wheels. Wow, that space of the Christchurch Spinners is amazing, isn't it? Down the back. There you go. It's like going through the Lion Witch and the Wardrobe into some amazing space of spinning and looms, and it's like heaven. Fantastic. The ladies found my wheel. That is so cool. Mayercraft is amazing. I have my little gem. It is fast and small and I love it, says Marina. Yeah, I have to decide which one I want. But that is my goal, is to get... Look, for a long time there was a beautiful... there was a Susie, I think is the Ashford one. And I thought, I think it's a Susie? I don't know. It's a double treadle. And I thought, I think I'll get that. Oh, no, it's a Joy. Because I love the name Joy. It's a Joy, that's right. And I thought, I'll get an Ashford Joy. That might be fun. It's a double treadle. It's not too big. And look, who knows? Maybe I still will. But then I heard about this wheel that you can get in the States. And it's this, I can't remember what it's called, but it's just like the absolute luxury wheel that you can buy over there, and it's just so beautiful. I thought, oh gosh, imagine getting that wheel. But then I tried this Mayercraft of Eleanor's. She's got 2. I tried both of them, and oh my goodness, I just loved it. I loved it. So I think now I'm thinking Mayercraft. I know, Lynn, you've got a Mayercraft, don't you? And so anyway, I want to try some more, and yeah, I'm just going to try some more and start saving up because they're so expensive. It's crazy. Yes, it's very addictive. Okay, so yes, this fantastic, the Christchurch thing. It was just lovely. It was so nice. And what was nice was actually I looked on a bookshelf of books they had, and I thought, oh, I've got that one, I've got that one, I've got that one, I've got that one. So that was really nice too. I had all these books. Speaking of books, you can get some fantastic spinning books. So just keep your eyes peeled for spinning stuff, especially at the secondhand shops. You'll be surprised what you find. Oh, oh wow. Prismans Hyde, I don't know your name, says I'm spinning on my Maycraft rose right now. I think the rose might have been one. That's the one. It's got it all, the flower all up the side. Oh, there's some beautiful. It's such a good hobby. It's such a great hobby. So anyway, I've just finished this one, which I loved spinning. It's still Corriedale, because in between doing this, when I'm sure this has got the silk in it, when I thought I was clever and I was actually mastering spinning with a bit of silk in it, I then tried to spin a merino silk. That was an abject fail. It was just a total fail. I just couldn't get enough twist in it. I was fighting with my wheel and I just gave up. So I've put that to one side, and I'm going to come back to that. And I think I'll start with just a merino, and then I'll go. I don't know why. I used to just be more gung-ho about these things. I think it's just, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'm just being gentle on myself. I'm actually being quite good. I really do feel different. I feel like I can just like let it go a little bit and not put too much pressure on myself. So that's a nice change. Anyway, this one I have really enjoyed. I was a member to a bunch of spinning clubs. I have amassed quite a quantity of fibre now. And I was a subscriber to Amy's Handmade and Fibre Club for a while. I've now swapped and I'm giving someone else a go. I'm just giving them all a go. So Amy's was lovely from Handmaiden, and I spun this. She has here. Look, you could even probably, if you had your phone, you could probably hold it up and then you'll go straight to her website. That's clever, isn't it? Anyway, this was from the Fibre Club in December. The colours were just... I just loved them, and so I picked up this one, and it's 100% Corriedale. So I thought, right, I'm going to spin Corriedale again because I know how to spin Corriedale. Corriedale turns out beautifully for me. I can do that, and so I spun Corriedale again. I've noticed I've got a break in it though down here, so I don't know what's going on. Oh no, yes I do. So something's gone on down there. But anyway, I just finished this. The colours in that are just lovely. There's an awful lot of pink, but there's super amounts of barber poling. And what I did with this one was I actually spun it I separated it into 3, and not very accurately it turns out, but anyway, more or less accurately. I separated it into 3 and then lengthways down the skein, and then I spun it onto 3 separate bobbins because I actually love 3-ply. I really do love the look of it. This one I did a Navajo plying, so I did that when you pull back on itself, so I got a 3-ply out of that. But this one I thought I want to do 3 different bobbins, so I did 3 different bobbins. I put them, not the big ones, they were my little ones, so all 3 of them sat on here, so it was easier to pull from. And then I pulled up and I spun them together. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed this. The colours in it, I don't know if you can see. It just looks like a lot of pink, but it's actually not. There are so many colours. So I enjoyed doing that. I got to the end of one, and then I, what did I do? I think I wound off some, I got to the end, and then I made sure I had 3 again, and then I got to the end, and then I just Navajo plied the last little lot to make the last, so I got every single inch out of it. It's beautifully soft. It's bloomed wonderfully, and I'm pretty thrilled because I think this is pretty much a fingering, maybe a sport. I haven't wound it around my little thing yet to see, but I was really pleased with the consistency of it, and I was really pleased with I was after more of a fingering, so I'm super pleased with that. Now I just need to knit it into something. Oh look, there's a whole swathe of blue through there. It's very, very pretty. It's going to knit up beautifully. So that was one of her clubs. It's lovely yarn. So now I'm having a bash on something else. I'm just all over the shop with it. But I lay out all my yarn the other day because I thought, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to do a bigger amount of 3 different fibers together. And so I thought I wanted to start. I've got one that I haven't quite managed to link up with anything yet. I think I showed it to you ages ago. But I thought I want to get a fiber, 3 different fibers. Well, not fibers, but 3 different braids, totally different. Maybe 2 will be a bit tonal, and then do all those together, because that will give me 300 grams. I can really do something with 300 grams. So rather than all these 100 grams. So anyway, this is the one I'm spinning at the moment. It looks really dark. When I hold it up, it looks really, really dark. It's beautifully soft. This is actually a Superwash BFL wool top. This is from a club that I joined that now it doesn't go anymore, and it's such a shame because the guy that did it was the most beautiful dyer. He really was. The Southern Cross Fibre Club, and this is Night Walk, and he's retired, so he's not doing it. But it's so I was sad to see that one go. It's Superwash BFL wool top. It is beautifully soft. I'm enjoying spinning it. I'm finding it really quite nice. I figure it's like a next step towards a merino, and the colors in it. When I first saw it, I'll roll it up for you, because when I first saw it, I was like, there's a lot of navy in that. There's an awful lot of navy and a bit of ginger in it. But actually, as I'm spinning it, it's got these long pieces. This is half. I've already spun half. I split it down the middle. I've spun half, and then now I'm spinning the other half onto the same big bobbin. And there's just got all these pops of colours in it. Absolutely pops, but it has got a lot of the navy, and it's that beautiful rich ink navy. So all sorts of colours. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. I don't know what I'm going to put it with. Marina, I know I've got some of your lavender. I could put it with a lavender. I could also pull out some of the teals, or I could go, I don't think I'll go for that colour because I'll feel a little bit school uniformy if I do that. But I think I like some of the greens. I might head towards some of the blues with it. Anyway, I'll spin this up and then I'll see what I want to put it with. But it's really beautiful. I haven't brought it to you. It's on my wheel to show you. And at the moment, it just looks pretty much navy because I'm up to a navy patch. I'm on to this end. Which end am I on? This end. I'm going from there. So you can see it's just quite a lot of navy with little patches of teal in it, and see that's lighter. As you spin it, it's just so pretty watching the colours go through. So I'm enjoying that a lot. And I was thinking, if you have got lots of ones to play with, it is fun to really join them together and then make something quite different and unique. And I was very inspired by Eleanor because she'd made some just stunning yarn, and it was just like Spin Cycle, and I thought, I want that. That's what I want. So that's my aim, is to make some of those. Love those colors. Yeah, thank you guys. Maureen says, just touch Handmaiden's QR code. Thanks for that. Yes, it's beautiful stuff. Beetle shells like that shellac color. I used to love using that in my painting when I was young. Okay, so if you have got some of this long single skeins, which are, that one's a bit more than 100 grams, that one's around about 100 grams. If you have these single skeins like this and you're thinking, I don't know, I've just done all this spinning and I should be knitting this spinning up, what shall I make with it? Well, I brought these two to show you. This is the one I was wearing. These are a really, really good option, these little shawls, because they're single skein shawls. And the thing I like about them is that, they're long and they're light. So I twist mine on like that twice. So it just gives you just enough warmth at the neck. You don't need to be like over the top all the time with your shawl. I don't anyway. Sometimes I like these little light ones as well. The nice thing about them is, I've got this one too. It's got a different edge to it, which would look beautiful in my hand spun. This one is flicker and this is antipodes, and the thing about them is they're super, super long, and I get you to weigh your yarn in the beginning and then you work to about halfway and then you turn around and go back the other way. So you will be able to use every single millimeter of your yarn if you want to make your shawl. And it doesn't matter if they're fractionally short, and it doesn't matter if they're fractionally long, because you can twist them around, once or twice. You can have a little bit more length if you want, and then tie a little knot in it. They're really versatile for these hand spuns. So flicker works much the same. So you start at the bottom, and it's just got a little garter body that works all the way up. And it's got these fabulous, I've got these fabulous edge. This has got this quite dramatic big double yarn overs, triple, I can't remember how many yarn overs I did. I had such fun doing this one. And you work all the way up, and then you literally turn the corner, you get to the middle, which is about here. You can do it on straights too if you want, you don't need your circulars. And then you turn the corner and you go off the other way. And it's a really good knit if you are not a big shawl person, or if you're new to knitting shawls. They're both good. This one has a different lace. This is more lacy. You can, I don't know if you'll be able to see. It's got these like little shards that come out like that in the lace. And so anyway, I thought they'd be a good option when you have done spinning and you're left with a whole lot like this, and you don't fancy stripes and you just want something. If you have a beautiful soft fibre and you knit it up in these, they will be great. So this one is flicker and this one is antipodes. They will be fantastic. I've nearly talked for a whole hour about my spinning. I was going to show you some sewing. Should I show it to you very quickly? And that will take us up to an hour. Because next week I've got a new pattern for you. And it's one the wardrobe toolboxes have had, but I've had it rephotographed and I'm much happier with the photos. And it's coming out, and I think you're going to love it, because I love it. Alana's Calypso is perfect for gradient hand spun. I love mine with fibre from Anna Grattan. Yes, indeed. So it's another one like this where you can have a yarn change as you're going through. It is perfect. You can just make the colours change. You look so clever, and you're using just your yarn if you have got a colour change through your hand spun. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I'll just show you two things that I've sewn lately, because I've really enjoyed doing a bit of sewing. The first was this. I have been trying to make some new clothes to go with my photographs for my knits, because it's a good excuse for me to actually make something. And so I made myself, I had this merino in my stash. It's just got a fine stripe on it. It's covered in fluff because I was wearing it under my little fluffy top the other day. But I just made this one. It's got slightly fluted sleeves, and I absolutely love them. I made the whole thing on my overlocker. It was actually, I didn't in the end I put the neckband on twice, and so the second time my overlocker needs to be fixed up, so I didn't do it the second time on my overlocker. And I did the hem with a zigzag on the cuffs and the bottom, so that worked pretty well. I just did up my hem with my, oh, you can't even see, it's so dark. It's a merino, it's very fine. I absolutely love it. It's just a nice little underneath top that I can wear with slightly fluted sleeves. But the reason I'm showing you is because I used this book. And I've had this book for ages, Alabama Sewing Studio, and it's really all about making the most fantastically, let me show you some pictures, some amazing handmade decorative stuff. Just stunning work with handmade. If you're interested in things like this, I thoroughly recommend this book. It's absolutely beautiful. The techniques are fabulous. I haven't tried any of them. I really must. I want to. All the things I want to do with my life. And look at this. Stuff like this. It's just knockout. Absolutely knockout. Alabama Channon has a company in the States, and they have these very high-end, entirely handmade pieces that you can buy. But because of the labor and because of the quantities they can make and because of the cost, she's put out several of these books, so you can make them yourself. And in the book, she tells you all sorts of things, like how to do all the decorative stitches and put beading on, all sorts of things. But she also has patterns in the book. And I made, let me just show you this, basic garments. I made one of those. So I made that one at the bottom from the book. It's got quite fluted sleeves. Doesn't look like it on the picture here, because I think she pulled it in. I don't think she left those wide. I took some of the fluting out of my sleeve, but I still left it a little bit, and I really like it so that it's not tight on my sleeve. It still just has a little bit of looseness there. But in the back of the book, it's got all sorts of things. It's got skirts. Hang on, where are the actual patterns that she showed you? Basic pattern. She's got a dress, top, skirts, stuff like that, and that's funky. I really love that dress. I did start a skirt from a top for myself, but I don't fit it anymore. Look, that funky, very fun, very, very fun. Anyway, she's got a bunch of stuff in here, and it's all got the patterns at the back. Oh, there's so much stuff in this book. And at the back, it's got all the patterns tucked into the back, so you can just trace off your pattern for you. And so I've done a couple of things. One, I made the top out of that, which I really like the cut of it, and of course you can just adjust the neck and things if you want, and the sleeves like I did. And I've been putting things, I haven't got a cover for this one yet, but I've been putting my patterns in these envelopes. And I bought myself a new roll of paper the other day to trace with, and I just took a punt on it because I have had that yellow architectural paper. I love the Swedish sewing paper, but I don't even know where to get it here. I've had a hunt round, and so I bought this different kind of architect's paper, and it was a bit stiffer, and I really like it. It's groovy because it's not going to rip. So here we are. I cut out a front. It's got a little bit of a hole in it there, but I cut out a front, and I just gave it all the markings that I need to mark. Made the large size. I made it that long, and then I just hacked it off when I tried it on. I think I did her neck. Did I do a slightly lower neck? I can't remember now. I did end up doing a lower neck. Anyway, I just traced it onto there, and then they just stay in my little box. So it has, I'll show you the sleeve, because the sleeve is, I'll give you an idea about the cuff. So it's got, there's the sleeve, like that. I accidentally cut into it, so I've got sellotape. Sellotapes up well. And that is the sleeve, and you can see the flare at the bottom of the sleeve. Well, I took it out before this. I had already taken the flare out of that sleeve, I think. I reduced it, or maybe I did after. Gosh, I should have written that down. That's the kind of thing you should write down. I'll measure it against my sleeve. I think this is actually with it reduced. So anyway, I've traced them, and I've popped them in my brown envelope. Whoops, how am I doing it now? Like this. Popped it in my brown envelope so that it's ready for me for next time, because that top was so quick and easy to do on my overlocker. I just cut it out one day, just left it there, sat down, zoom. Oh no, I did it the same day. Zoom, 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 zoom. Top is made. It's so easy and fun. So what I'm going to do is I'll just photocopy the front of that so I can remember what it is, or maybe the picture of the top, and maybe I'll sketch it on, and I'll just keep it on the front with all my patterns. So that's one thing I made. And you'll see it in my photos for Rita. I'm wearing it under my green vest. Under the green one, I've got that top on, although it looks good under both of them. And the other thing I've made is for the pattern that's coming out next week. And I've made a little skirt. And I've got this beautiful ginger linen. And I've made myself just a simple skirt. It's got an elastic back, just a flat front. It's a reasonably long. It goes to under my knees. I had this nice linen I got just at Spotlight. It's got pockets on the side, on both sides, and it's deliciously comfortable. Oh, it's comfortable, and it sits high on my waist, this skirt, and it falls like linen does, just beautifully. You'll see that. You won't really see much of it in the photos, but you'll see the colour of it. Anyway, I made it with this pattern, Cleo, which is made by Ray, and I didn't make it that long. I didn't make it that short. I sort of made it in the middle. It's sort of that long on me, and it's got a couple of versions in the pattern. It's got, I just did side pockets, but it's also got this sort of cutaway version for the pocket, and I've made that before for another skirt, which I love, a really long navy one. I'll see if I can show you. It's a good pattern. Oh, here we are. You can see it here anyway, at the front. So I've made that one on a very, very long skirt, and that's the one I just did this time, just short. And I had a look on her blog, and she's got a whole lot of information about the Cleo skirt. I think she does a sew along or something. But there are lots of people who have made it, and it's quite interesting to see what fabric they've used and just different things they've done. And the first one I did, I made a fatter waistband. I got 2-inch elastic, 5 centimeter elastic, and so it's quite a nice fat waistband, because I saw someone else had done that and I thought that looked nice. But this one, I just did what she said in the pattern. I just did an inch and was 3 centimeter. I just did a 3 centimeter waistband, about 1.25 inches, I think. So yes, now this is one I have managed to cut out. Someone gave me a couple of rolls of that Swedish tracing paper, and it is fantastic. I do like that. So I just mark it all up. I mark where to put my little notches. I just say what it is. I say what I need to do. I didn't say the size. Maybe that's for all of them. Usually I write the size so I know what size I did. I didn't do it for this time for some reason. So I would recommend doing that so you know at least what you've got. Oh no, I did do it. I've written, I think I wrote on that one. I'm just going to double check for myself so I know if I've written the size on it. Yes, I did. I put S. That must be small. Or I put S anyway for that one. There we are. And you've got to square it up for the corner for the view B. So that's lovely. The Swedish tracing paper is absolutely lovely. And I think you can get it easily overseas, but it's a little more tricky for me down here. So anyway, that's how I've been storing my patterns in these brown envelopes, and they are fantastic. So I've got 2 new things to wear. I sorted out, I went through my whole wardrobe last weekend, had a huge sort out, and of my, I think I've got 6 skirts in there now, and of those, I've made all of them but one. I've only got one of them. I've got a denim skirt that I bought. The rest of them are all handmade skirts. So apart from the fact that I probably need a few more things, a lot more things, because I had a big cull, yeah, it's quite satisfying to see how many handmade things I actually had in my wardrobe. All right, let me see your comments. Antipodes was my very first truly myrtle pattern, and I've been hooked ever since. Oh, that's good, Barbara. Yeah, that's this one I'm wearing. It's a good little one. Which overlocker do I have? It's a Janome. It's a Janome 6. I can't see it from here. It's a Janome 6 something. Mr. Myrtle bought it for me years ago. 6'2". I don't know what it says. I have to go over there and have a look, and I can't see it. It's just over there. So I've got a Janome sewing machine and a Janome overlocker, and I would love one that automatically threaded. This one does not. You've got to put the threads through. It's fine. I just need to do it because I did something when I was making this top, and somehow the threads dropped, and I couldn't fix it in a hurry, so I abandoned it, went back to my sewing machine. But yes, I do like Janomes. They are good. They're not the high-endest of sewing machines that you can get, but they're really fine. They're absolutely fine for what I use them for. So, all right, everybody, that's taken me to nearly an hour. I thought I'd just be half an hour today. That was a long session. I will see you next week. What weight is my tracing paper? Well, I first of all used to have a yellow draftsman's paper. I got it from Gordon Harris online, yellow draftsman paper. The thing about it, it's not terribly wide, and so I had that for ages. I've got several. I had several rolls of that over the years, but I thought this time I'd do something different because the drafting paper is a little bit like baking paper. It's that sort of weight. I've now gone for this architect's paper. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like architect's paper, and it's thick. It's really thick, and when it arrived I thought, oh, maybe I've made a mistake, but I haven't. It's really good. I like it a lot. It folds beautifully and it stays flat and it doesn't get all wrinkled. So this one is it's thicker than your ordinary paper, and it's plasticky. It's that plasticky sort of feel to it. I don't know how thick it is. I couldn't tell you the number, but it's not 100. It's not 70 GSM. It's probably something like 125. I don't know. Is that too thick? I don't know. It's definitely thicker, and it's plasticky. And that actually, I think it's going to be marvelous, just marvelous, because it cuts beautifully. You can mark on it easily. The roll stays together. It doesn't get all wrinkled. The pieces are good. They'll last for ages. So yeah, I think I'm pleased with that. Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's good, Marina. Okie doke, everybody. Well, I will see you the same time, same place next week. I have this new pattern to show you, Amelia. You can go and have a little look at her on Ravelry if you want. She's listed, but you can't buy her yet. If you do want to get a discount on her when she's released, make sure you sign up to my mini mag. Just go to trulymyrtle.com/ ep.160/minimag, and I will have a discount code for you to use when she comes out next week. And I'll also show you a whole lot of examples of Amelia cardigans that other people have made, and I'll tell you all about her. So I will show you her next week. She is just a beautiful classic for your wardrobe. If you're after a classic knit she's just lovely to wear. The yarn I used is pretty spectacular, and I'll have a code for that as well if you want kits. So anyway, come back and see me next week, same time, same place, Thursday, 10 a.m. New Zealand time. I will endeavour to go live on Facebook as well. I'll have a little play, make sure I can, because I don't know what's going on. But in the meantime, do lots of spinning, do lots of sewing, do lots of knitting, and I will see you soon. See you later, everybody. Bye.